Hey YouTube, Texas Gear Reviews here. Today I want to take a look at the Aleto N7 flashlight. This one may be a little bit long. I have some notes here I have to go over, make sure I get it all in. This is a cheap, durable ultralight flashlight that won't put a big dent in your wallet. I'm not going to say it's as tough as them high-end flashlights, but it will hold its own in your medium range, and it outperforms any low-end flashlight I've ever used as well. So after a little bit of research, I did come up with a few specs on it. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way. It uses one 18650 battery, and it has 3 settings: high, low, and strobe. Okay. It puts out 850 lumens on high. I'm not sure what medium is, but that's with a good, decent battery. But if you get a really good battery, you can get about 950 lumens out of this flashlight. It is rechargeable. It comes with a car charger and a wall charger. Let's see. Try to look at my notes and see what I need to go over. Oh, it charges in about 2 to 5 hours depending on what kind of battery you have in it. It uses one Cree Q5 LED with a 100,000 hour lifespan on that light, so it's not going to go out anytime soon. It is an aluminum alloy casing and reflector, and it has this tactical bezel on the end of it, tactical style anyway. It's a waterproof design with O-rings, and it has this small rubber plug for the charge port. It puts out a massive beam. I've used this thing for quite a while, and I believe, let me look through my notes, it has a 328 foot throw, so right around 300 meters. I think this would be a great EDC light. In fact, it's replaced my old EDC light in my kit, and I've been using it regularly now for about 3 weeks. I also think it would make a good light for most outdoor applications, like nighttime hikes or hunting, camping, anything like that. It's a good little light for those. Now, with all that said, I want to say what the 3 biggest things is I'll look at before I buy any piece of gear. First is price, second is weight, and third, I look at reviews to see how durable it is. To see the pros and cons, all that good stuff. Well, first, the price on this thing is the best thing about this light. It's under $10. In fact, the light, both chargers that come with the light, and 2 18650 batteries, so I have a spare battery here, was all right around $12. And in my book, you just can't beat that. Now let's just do a small comparison on that. I could go buy a flashlight that's, has 90% 5-star reviews, like the Streamlight ProTac HL. I'm just going to use it for instance. And that light costs you about $65 to $70, somewhere in there. It puts out 600 lumens and uses expensive non-rechargeable Surefire batteries, and it uses an older LED design. Or I can go buy this Aleto N7 that puts out 250 lumens more on one 1,000 cycle 10-year rechargeable 18650 battery. Now again, I'm not saying it's going to be as durable as the ProTac, but I have used them both, and I can say it outperforms in most, if not all, categories. And I used the ProTac for about a week. A buddy of mine he had just bought it, and he still had his other flashlight, so he let me borrow that one for a while. So I did get a little bit of use in with it. Now, on to the second is weight. I don't have an exact weight on this, but with the battery, I can say it's no more than 6 ounces, but probably closer to 4 ounces, somewhere in there. We'll just say 6, just to be safe. Now, on to reviews. Believe it or not, I couldn't find one review on this flashlight. I found reviews on the Aleto brand, but not on the N7. I just couldn't find any. So what we're going to do something a little different that we usually don't do in our other reviews. Instead of telling you what most consumers or even what I think about it, we're going to give you a pros and cons list. And yes, it is based on my opinion. So as always, do your research if you plan to buy it. You know, don't just watch my review. Try to find other reviews. But on this one, I was unable to find any. So we'll do pros first. And the first and biggest pro for me is, you guessed it, the cost. I'm cheap. I don't like to spend a lot on gear, on any one piece of gear. In fact, most of my high-end expensive gear was purchased secondhand, just to save a few bucks. For instance, I picked up a full-size Yeti cooler for it was like 75 bucks on Craigslist about 2 months ago. So I paid about 25% of what you would pay for it new, and it's still a great cooler. The second pro, it uses one 18650 rechargeable, so cost of running is super cheap. Third on my list, I'm going to go with the button. And this would probably be on most people's con list, in that it is the older style one-button operation. So your on-off mode and switching through your different modes is all in the same button. But that's what I like, so it goes in my pros column. Fourth and final is going to be button placement. I like the fact that it's on the side. I like my flashlights to have the button right here rather than here. That's just what I prefer. Again, it may be in your cons list, but it's going to be in my pros list, and that's just personal preference. As for cons, I don't have too many, although that might change with an update review after we get a little bit of time in with this thing. But the first bad thing I noticed is the threads. When I went to change out the battery on this thing, you can't hear it now because I remedied the problem. But the threads are super fine on this. I could see myself stripping it out someday if I'm not paying close enough attention. In fact, when I was installing the battery, like I said, I unscrewed this cap, and it made the most god-awful grinding sound that I've ever heard on a flashlight. So to remedy that, I just took the entire flashlight apart here, here, and here, and I put beeswax through the threads, and now it glides. I don't have any problems out of it. But when I did pull it apart, when I pulled the bezel off, I noticed the second con on my list, and that's going to be the lens. It feels ultra thin and ultra cheap, and I believe if you drop anything on this or drop this on anything hard or sharp, I think that's going to crack really easy, and I think it's going to scratch really easy as well. So that's going to be the second con. Let's see. Last on my con list is going to be the lanyard. Again, it feels cheap. I can see it snapping. Although it doesn't bother me, I never use a lanyard on my light, but you could remedy that by just changing it out with a heavy-duty lanyard. So that's the only cons I could really come up with on this. Like I said, it may change with the update review, but as of right now, I'm giving this flashlight 4 out of 5 stars for its cost and its performance so far. Again, I've only been using it for 3 or 4 weeks now. After we get more time in with it, we'll definitely do an update, so look out for those updates coming. That's going to be it for this one. We hope you enjoyed, and as always, thanks for watching YouTube.